Welcome to the Voices of the LeanFeast.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Voices of LeanFeast. It's Monday. It's a beautiful day outside before we get some gnarly weather here coming in the central Arkansas area. Luke's with me. What's up, Wizard?
Buenos nachos.
I want nachos.
I like nachos.
Can I have nachos?
Yes, you can have nachos too.
Sweet. Law Dog,
What's up?
how are you?
I'm here. I'm good.
How was your weekend?
It was good. It was good. Ozzy,
Which one was that?
That was Ozzy. We have the dogs in the room today, so if you hear them, we're gonna try to keep them quiet. Hey, and we have a special guest today, Drew. How do you say Spurgers?
Spurgers, dead on.
Sweet,
Nobody ever gets it right except you.
sweet. I highly doubt that, but I appreciate that. Drew.
It is mispronounced 95%
Is it
of
really?
the time. Yeah.
How do people say it?
Spurgers usually.
Okay.
Spurgers. Or they just
Spurge?
Yeah, I get that occasionally. Or they ignore the S. Spurger.
Yeah, where does that come from, Drew? Is it? Do you know any
My parents?
history
Yeah.
history on the name?
My parents.
Super white, so maybe German, but
Okay,
yeah.
got it.
Okay.
When I did-
What is your ethnicity?
when I did the 23andMe thing, it was like your European white.
You
That's
did that?
basically it. Yeah.
I heard that's kind of scary to do. Like, don't you find out a bunch of stuff that you probably don't really want to know about?
So I think with either Ancestry.com or genealogies, you can find relatives you didn't know you have, like find out that you have like a sibling you didn't know about or something. And I know people that has happened to. So mine was not scary. We're good.
Wow. And I also heard that like now the government can use. They have.
I think I clicked the opt-out button, but I don't think the NSA cares. So
Oh yeah, they're going to use it if they want to
Absolutely,
use it. Was it
absolutely.
worth it? Do you feel like it was worth it?
yeah, it was cool. I mean, it told me I was white, which I kind of feel like I knew. So
I mean, your skin color is pretty white.
there
so.
there were no surprises.
Okay, you're not like Polynesian or anything.
No.
Fiji. Nothing?
0.01% sub-Saharan African, I think. So
I kind of want to do it.
you should do it. It was fun.
Is it expensive?
Nah, it's not too bad. It's like I think 70
Does it
bucks
take
or so.
forever?
Sent it in and it took like 3 weeks, I think. So
Was it a
wasn't
blood
bad.
So
test, or-
there's two big ones, right? There's the 23andMe and what's the other one?
I couldn't tell you. 23andMe and I don't remember the other one, but it's a swab. So they send you a kit. It's actually beautifully branded, really well done. You just open up swab, it packages all back together, mail back to them, and it was quick and easy.
Is
So
it like
crazy.
is it as beautiful as an Apple product?
No.
Because nothing's as beautiful as a
No,
pack.
the Apple product you're paying mostly for the packaging.
The phone's like $2, but the box
Exactly.
is like
The packaging is so nice,
$365.
I can't even throw it away
They're
most
so
of the time.
I love it when you just peel off the plastic.
Yeah.
Oh, feels so good.
But then it
Sorry.
also feels a little defiling, like you're not supposed to. You just need to leave it in this perfect condition that it's in.
Exactly.
Put it in a case.
It makes you. Their packaging makes you not want to open them.
Yeah, I've gotten to where I don't buy on release day anymore because I feel so like anxious about having it outside of a case. So I wait for a couple weeks until the off-market cases hit, and then buy a case, and then buy the phone.
Smart.
Yeah, then I don't
I
have
like
to
that.
worry about dropping it and shattering a brand new phone.
I like that. I
Yeah,
like that.
makes sense.
I think Eric's the exact opposite. He goes and buys it and cracks it and then goes and buys a case.
No, I've only cracked one iPhone screen since they've come out. I think I started with like iPhone 5,
Yeah,
and then I left.
Were you Android before that?
I was Apple. No, I
Okay.
guess I was Android.
Yeah, we can't be friends anymore.
What did I have? I think I had a Crackberry.
That was big.
with the
That
little
was big.
wheel in the
wheel?
middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
that one. The Pearl,
Yeah.
Blackberry Pearl.
I never had the BlackBerry.
had that one.
I had the Samsung Blackjack. Which
I
was
had a
the,
Blackjack.
like flat one.
Yeah.
that-
I never had
for
them.
about a month.
I had a
know what you're
Motorola
talking
Razor before that.
Oh yeah, I had
Did
the
it
Razor.
And I was a cheapskate, so I ended up getting like a Metro PCS, and I had like a flip phone before that.
Yep.
But now I'm addicted to my iPhone, and I won't buy anything but the newest shit.
Yeah, and especially if you're like working like we all are, where you're on a Mac as well, everything just syncs so.
That is the
seamlessly.
nice side of it.
It's so
It
nice.
does, yeah.
You were Google until like 3 months ago, huh?
Yeah, until like I was Google, and after working like in here, the connectability is very efficient. I can,
Welcome to 2020.
yeah, any phone, any computer I'm on, I can do anything.
We gave them so much crap for using
Having a
an
Droid.
Android phone.
Yeah.
I mean, you use a Chromebook? What is it?
Microsoft Surface.
Okay.
The Surfaces are pretty cool, but
Yeah.
that's just because they're trying to be iPads. But yeah, they're pretty cool.
Boom.
But
Straight
they have full Windows functionality.
Yeah, they do, and that's true. They do. They're better.
I just can't. I know Shannon, our media guy, he uses a Windows base.
Yeah, he's
The only thing I use Windows base for is Fortnite.
that's it.
That's it.
That's all I
QuickBooks
need
for
it
me.
for.
QuickBooks?
That's it.
Hey, I'm going to pick your brain later.
Yeah.
Do you guys run your own QuickBooks?
Yeah. We have to have probably similar to what you guys, the manufacturing and wholesale. So they don't make that online. So I have to use it on actual PC. So there is it's really fun. If you walk into my office, you see 2 monitors, and it's my laptop and then the 2 monitors I'm working on, and behind me is a PC that's open that I'm remoted into working on. So people walk into my office and they're watching me work on the computer behind me. I'm like, crap, I have to pay attention.
We got to take a trip over there. I know you
Yeah.
told us to come by there.
Yeah,
It's
anytime.
hard for me to get out of my realm, and even we've had to go to the Staples for like a week, and I still haven't gone to
haven't went.
Staples.
Yeah, they deliver.
And I feel like Drew is
I
here
know.
so much that we should probably set up an office for him,
Bring it on.
Maybe.
Bring it on.
like
Yeah.
a remote desktop area where he can come in and order all of our product
It
for
happens.
us.
Yeah. it can all be done
By the
from my
way, we're
laptop.
going to be placing a huge order, but let's talk about. So, are you? You are how old are you, Drew?
How do you think I am? You're not gonna hurt my feelings. You can go high or low, and I won't be offended.
27.
You went low. I'm 29. Turned 30 this year.
When's your birthday?
March 9th. Going to Napa. So it's going to be a perfect trip.
You're going to California.
Yeah. I'm going to Napa for 4 days with a group of 11 friends. And then me and Kevin and 2 of our closest guy friends started a trip. And we started in LA a couple years ago. And our intent was to make it all the way up to the Redwoods. And we got as far as Big Sur and just fell in love and stayed in an RV. And so we are going to Napa for 4 days. And then we have another 8 days where we pick up an RV in San Francisco. And then we're going to go from San Francisco to Yosemite, to Sacramento, up to the Redwoods and back down.
Dang.
Napa's a pretty cool spot.
Yeah.
I spent a little time in Napa. I was kind of my previous life. I was a wine snob with my wife and her family. They kind of got me into wine. But Sonoma's even cooler. I mean, Napa has all like the big names in wine.
I think Sonoma is
the
actually where we're hanging out.
more boutique-y type places. But
And I hadn't heard of the place that we're staying. We rented a house on Airbnb, which our group typically does when we travel, and it's closer to Sonoma than Napa.
yeah,
I'm trying to see where it is.
Napa's a lot more expensive to stay in.
That's what I've heard.
Are you're a wine connoisseur?
No.
You're just going up there just to see it.
San Rafael.
Oh yeah,
San Rafael. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Not
anyways,
far.
this
It's
house
nice
is
up there.
gorgeous, and we've got like a chef coming in to cook for us. And
Dude,
it's gonna be fun.
when are you leaving?
We leave March 5th, and I'll be back March 18th.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
And you'll be 30.
I will be.
Dirty
Yeah,
30.
I will be.
Man, I love that, dude. Okay, so you are. Well, tell us what you do.
Yeah.
We know what you do, but the listeners don't know what you do. And I just found out some information that I had no idea about. About another business that you own.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
But these nincompoops, they knew. You're a very talented man.
I surround myself with talented people.
All right, so tell us kind of what you do, and then we'll kind of tap off of that.
Yeah. So my full-time gig is Kanga Studio, which is an agency with a promotional products division as well. So that's going to be everything we work with you guys on. The agency side of it, we have a designer, 2 web developers, 2 video producers, and then a digital content manager. And so that's going to be basically for a business like LeanFeast or maybe a little bit smaller. We're going to be able to serve either as their marketing department or an augment to their in-house department. So we have a number of clients that have maybe a designer in-house, but when they need overflow, we're able to take that. Or a lot of people that we just serve as their marketing department as well. So we work primarily with restaurants, but a lot of other organizations. And then the side project is we own some tanning salons as well. It's kind of a funny story there because if you see me, I am very white.
You're not tan.
Yeah. Just in the last couple of weeks, I've worked a couple shifts in the stores, but that's the first time that's happened in years, really. So we have 3. The first one opened in 98. I bought it in 2003. Said we'd never do spray tans. We got into spray tanning. One of my largest clients now is the world's largest manufacturer of DHA, which is the active ingredient in spray tan solution. We sprayed Alex for your wedding.
Yep.
And then...
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't. Jordan did, I think. But and then we have 2 stores in the Little Rock area that are just sunless stores. So they don't have any tanning beds at all. It's just spray tans, teeth whitening, and then we have estheticians that do all the skincare stuff.
teeth
there.
whitening.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need to do that.
Yeah, I need to do that too.
It's
Okay,
so cool
sign me up.
too. It takes like
Does it hurt?
it's like a 20 minute session, and the results are instant. It's not something that you have to
Where can I go to do this?
Conway store anytime, which is also right by my office. So
Okay, we need
Check
to take
that
a
out.
trip.
Oh, trip. Yeah.
Field trip.
Maybe
Field trip.
later on this week. Do I got to make an appointment?
you don't have to. No,
Hell yeah.
you can, but you don't have to.
Nice. So do you use like the UV light?
We
to do
do. Well, it's not for tooth whitening. Tooth whitening uses an LED light and a carbamide peroxide solution. So carbamide peroxide is similar to hydrogen peroxide, but it's more gentle, and it's FDA approved. It is a hermetically sealed tray that comes in, and you just put it in your mouth and bite on it. Basically, in the results, they put you under a blue light, and it happens in 15 minutes. It's quick.
Do you have to do follow up?
No. And the results last for 6 to 8 months with like no maintenance. You can maintain it a little bit if you want. The only people that are going to see it last less time than that are really heavy coffee or tea drinkers or really heavy smokers. I drink coffee every day, and I own the thing and can go anytime. And I've done it a total of 3 times in the 4 years that we've had it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dude, I didn't know you can do that.
No, that's cool. I didn't know
going.
you could do that either.
Yeah. And then right after we bought it, I was talking to my dentist about it, and he's like, "It's the same system we use. I can just charge more because I'm a doctor."
So I went like 2 months ago and got my teeth whitened at the dentist. I was their first patient to try that method. It was like this solution that they painted on, and it didn't last.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she did it right, but
Yeah.
like half of it was on and half of it was off, and then I had to do like 10 days of it at home after.
Yeah. And a lot of times it's super sensitive as well.
It was pretty sensitive.
Yeah,
Like
I
the
remember
crest
saying
white
that.
strips, I can't do those. It just hurts.
That's just pretty much bleaching your teeth,
I'm
right?
pretty sure. Yeah.
Wow.
All right, field trip. We're going.
Yeah, for sure.
let's
Okay,
do it.
so you own Kanga Studios.
Yep.
And you're pretty much just an outlet for media
Yep.
and promotional and marketing
Yep.
things. So what we use you for is, obviously we have our own in-house media team.
Yep.
We do most of our digital content, but you guys are taking care of all of our branding content.
Yep.
In this office, you've made a couple signs in here. You've done our T-shirts and some
Hoodie
of our
you're-
bags.
hoodie you're
The
wearing.
hoodie I'm wearing.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing a hat right now. You do the gray T-shirts that Baker's wearing.
Yep.
So we love the fact that you're based in Arkansas. Are you from Arkansas?
Not originally, but my family's all here. So my dad was born in West Helena, Arkansas. Mom was born in Memphis. Military brats. I was born in North Dakota, but we've lived all over the place and landed here. And now my whole family's here.
So your dad, you're military brat?
Yeah. Air
Wow.
Force. Yep. Was born on Minot.
Wow. Wait, where were you born?
Minot, North Dakota.
North Dakota?
North Dakota.
Isn't that where Fargo is?
I'm even further, or was even further north than that. Yeah, basically Canada.
Wow.
We
How
got
long?
a guy you should meet.
To what?
We have a guy you should meet.
Oh gosh.
No, we have a buddy, our web designer, and he lives in Vancouver, Washington. But we tell him that he's Canadian.
Yeah.
And so,
Well,
is
yeah. When
not-
he first told us where he was from, he said Vancouver. I'm like, Canada? I mean, like when I think of Vancouver, I think
And
of Canada.
if you're in Vancouver, Washington, you're basically in Vancouver,
yeah,
British
right. I
Columbia.
mean, you're
like,
a stone's throw.
yeah,
you
it's
know?
like
Yeah.
a 2-hour ferry ride, I think.
And he's like, no, I'm not Canadian. I live in Vancouver, Washington. I'm like, no, you're Canadian.
basically
We're going to run with
Canada.
that.
It's basically
He's from
Canada.
San Jose, California.
Yeah.
though.
And so we just rag on him all the time about being Canadian.
Yeah.
So you were born and raised in North Dakota. How long were you? Did you guys move right after that?
Yeah. So I didn't go to the same school 2 years in a row until 7th grade, and that was actually in Conway. So I went from Minot to Guam to South Carolina. There was a San Antonio stint really briefly in there, then to Memphis, and then to Arkansas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is your dad still in the military?
He is not. He is FBI now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's even cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, different.
Yeah.
Different but cool. I feel like I have an echo. Do I have an echo?
Nope.
Anybody? No?
You have a
My
whimper.
dog is just, dude, get off me, bro. Good boy. Awesome. So North Dakota, farther than Fargo, almost Canada, and you're in Conway.
Yeah.
Wow. Was your dad stationed? You guys were stationed here when you guys moved here?
No, so that was actually he started with FBI in Little Rock. So when he left the Air Force teaching at the Citadel in South Carolina, and then we moved to Memphis while he was training, and then after he finished his training, we all moved to Arkansas.
Wow.
Yeah.
We dealt with a distributor last year, and it's for a product that we carry. We used to carry in one of our stores. We now carry not a similar product, but the same style product, kind of. But anyways, when I was talking to him, we were talking about Arkansas, and he said, well, how the hell did you end up in Arkansas?
Yeah.
And I told him the story, and he was in the military as well, and he actually flew to Afghanistan with his battalion from Conway Regional.
No way. That's awesome.
That's what it's called, right? Conway Regional?
Conway Municipal.
Municipal, yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a huge connection there, which was cool. Everybody thinks, they always ask me, like, why did you move to Arkansas? And, I tell them the story, about LeanFeast and about Luke being here and everything, and everybody's like, oh, I've never been there. Well, don't come here.
Yeah.
We're good with as many people as here.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that now, and I've only been here for a year and a half, but
Yeah.
And Baker tells me all the time, like,
It's really crazy for as long as we've been here. I mean, like when I was in high school, the Common Commons where Target and Kohl's and all that stuff wasn't there. So
was
let me
like,
just see
was it
how
just
much it's come
orchard
up. It was just
land?
field. It was nothing.
That was
Yeah.
the flight path for the original Conway Airport.
Yeah.
When you landed in Conway at the original airport, you flew right over where Target is,
Yep.
like skimming right over the rooftop.
Really?
I've done
Yeah.
it several times.
Yep. And
Huh.
that if you go down that 6th Street bypass, that is the old airport right there. So I mean, you
Oh,
literally
wow.
would have come in. Yeah. So it's been really cool to see Conway. I mean, it's doubled since we've been here.
wow.
Yeah.
And are your parents in Conway?
They are just outside of Conway. So their address is Damascus. They're in Worcester, basically, though.
Do you eat at Amigo Loco?
I have never been to Amigo Loco, but I've heard about it.
They got Sergio salsa. Luke chimed me onto it. It's really good. You should
So they
check it
live
out.
in Worcester?
Yeah.
I live in Worcester.
I live in Worcester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baker's going to live in Worcester
Yeah.
soon.
We'll all be Woosterians.
If you go out,
Worcesterians?
if you go
How-
out
how do they say it?
285 north, just head north toward Worcester. So basically, they're 5 miles past the Worcester stop sign.
That's where mine off of 285.
Yeah.
So 285 in Watson.
Mm-hmm.
You know where that's at?
Yep.
Jimmy Reynolds' old land?
Yep.
Or his land now?
Yep.
That's what we're building right now.
Check that out. Yeah,
Yeah.
y'all gonna be
I
neighbors.
just told everybody where I live.
There you
right
go.
on. Not
Come on
telling-
over.
Yeah, come on over. Let's party. What's the first rule? Have you seen Peanut Butter
Party.
Falcon?
I have not.
Drew.
I don't even know what you're talking about, actually.
The
It
movie
is-
Peanut Butter Falcon
Yeah.
Absolutely,
with Shia LaBeouf cake.
Shia LaBeouf.
absolutely phenomenal movie.
Is this
It is
new?
It's about
probably
4
less
or
than a
5
year.
months old. Yeah.
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 It's
Okay, so it's new.
It just came out.
You and
Yeah.
Kevin have to watch this movie.
We will watch it. Sounds
Peanut
great.
Butter Falcon.
Kind of like a modern day Mark Twain. I don't know, like a little twist on it.
Yeah, yeah. Mark Twain versus
Like Gilbert Grape.
yep, Mark Twain versus
Yeah.
Gilbert Grape.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. It's good.
Have y'all seen the? I can't even remember the name of it. I think it was Ad Astro, Brad Pitt movie.
No.
We just watched it this
Ad
this
Astra,
weekend.
yeah.
It was absolutely horrible.
Oh, that's what I heard.
It was
I
awful.
thought he was not
I was-
not think that.
Dude, there was people that walked out of that movie.
I was getting ready to
Yeah.
be like, hell yeah, I'm about to
No.
watch something new.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He's
heard
like,
it was bad.
it's horrible.
The only redeeming thing about it was that Brad Pitt was in it, and it's just like, oh, I mean, he's been around forever and he's good, you know. But his performance was fine. The movie was just terrible.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay, so don't go see that movie.
No,
Or
it was
don't-
awful.
Was it a rental?
waste of time. Yeah, it was. I mean, we watched it on like Amazon Prime.
He
Or,
said waste of time.
it was. And I was just telling Luke, like, it doesn't take much to impress me. As long as you entertain me for an hour and a half, 2 hours, I would go watch Frozen, Disney movie, and be fine. Like,
Yeah.
just something
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah, I mean, if you'll entertain me for an hour and a half, 2 hours, I don't need you to change my life, but I need to not feel like I wasted my time.
So you go to the movie theater here in Conway quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel that theater, those seats hurt your ass and it's way too hot in there all the time?
It's always too hot everywhere for me, but those seats are such a massive upgrade from what we used to have. Conway used to have 2 theaters, one right there and then one where Hobby Lobby is now. It's actually what Planet Fitness is now. And that theater was jank. I mean, it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
The one and then the one that they've redone over there is much nicer now. So it's much better than it used to be.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways. All right. So coming back to, okay, so you take everything that obviously we give you and you have some other clients. You majority, is that a word?
Majorly?
Majorly deal with restaurants.
Yes.
Okay.
I might have we like restaurant work and we do a lot of restaurant work.
Because you do a lot of commercials and things like that for restaurants, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So how did Kanga even come about? Like, how did you even start that?
Let's start with, it's Kanga Blue, or is it Kanga Studios?
So it is Kanga Studio now. It was Kanga Blue. So we rebranded.
Where did that name come from? Sorry to
A
interrupt.
bottle of tequila. Yeah.
There's a tequila out there named Kanga Blue
No,
Tequila?
what
It
happened
was
was
over a bottle of tequila.
exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Our creative director at the time and I sat down and we'd been branding companies with no brand. Like we had no brand ourselves, but we're doing branding for other people for about 2 years. And we're like, all right, fine. Like we're going to have to make something of this and give it a brand. And I knew that I wanted a color and an object. And so we drank an entire bottle of Cabo Wabo on my back porch one night, and Kanga Blue is what came from that, which was fine. We just felt like we'd outgrown it a little bit because our client had changed some in that 6 or 7 years, and then we'd matured some. So Kanga Studio speaks more naturally to what we do as a creative studio, and then was a little bit of a glow up as well for us.
Do you guys only deal with local based stuff? No, you're all over.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the companies that I mentioned earlier that we do a lot of work with, they're based out of Ohio. We have a restaurant group that's based out of New Jersey. I mean, no, we don't have to be here.
What's your education?
So I have a marketing degree, almost a nutrition degree, and an MBA.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nutrition degree.
Yeah. Almost.
Okay. Are you going to finish that?
I am not. No. When I finished my marketing degree, I didn't have enough hours to graduate. And so they said, you've got to add something else on. And I was interested in nutrition. And so I'm like 2 hours or 2 classes short of a nutrition degree. But nobody, it wouldn't help me. I wouldn't do anything different than what I do now. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Caden, you want to turn that down, please? Your video game. We can hear you, man. Anyways, I'll edit that part out.
He's like, maybe you should close the door.
Yeah, close the door, Dad. It's like we're doing this at home, but
cranking 90s, Dad.
Cranking 90s on Fortnite. But we're actually in the office, and it's Daddy Daycare Day. I got the dogs.
Yep.
You got
everybody,
son, and they're driving me nuts.
Yeah.
So
everybody's so quiet though.
No. All right. So you have MBA, you have a marketing degree, and you have a
almost nutrition degree.
Nutrition degree. Why don't you go back and finish that?
Why would I?
I mean, unless you are pretty successful. I think you.
I give off the illusion of that fairly well. So.
Well, I mean, if for people that don't know you, you carry yourself very well. What's something that Luke was saying when we were talking about bringing you in on this podcast, and he said you're very articulate and you're very easy to understand, and you always have an answer for something. You're not that type of person that if I ask you a question, like I asked you when you came in, hey, where's our bags, right? Or what's the status on our bags?
Yep.
You immediately got on your phone and tried to find a solution. So you're a problem solver.
Yeah.
Right. And I was just deemed a problem solver on another podcast called Soul Seeker. And the guy was, every time he asked me a question, for an example, we were batching podcasts in California, and he wanted me to be on his podcast. So I went in, he came to the Airbnb, and we had all this stuff set up, and he's like, oh, well, I don't even need my stuff. I was like, no, just put your SD card in there. He's like, oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
So, I was just labeled as a problem solver. So I recognize that when I look at you, you're a problem solver.
Yeah, I think that's part of the entrepreneur gig, especially when you get to the level that we're at where we've got teams working for us. Like, at that point, my day is not mine most of the time. I go in early in the morning with a list of what I want to accomplish, and one of the first things I do is set intention of 3 things that have to get done that day. And those are the 3 things that I'm not going home until they get done. If I get to 5 o'clock and they're not done, I'm staying until they are. Past that, it's going to be putting out fires and solving problems.
Dude,
The day.
that is
Typical day.
That is my day summed all up. I mean, there's times when I come in here and my task list is so long, and I mean, we put out a ginormous fire this morning, and I haven't even got to attack what I need to attack. So I know that I'm going to be working from home, or I know that I'm going to have to stay.
Yep.
How long have you been an entrepreneur?
So, yeah, good question. I've been doing what I do now for 12 years. So we started Kanga officially in 2011 was when the company was incorporated. And then the company that I was selling for at the time, I transitioned out of that and then full-time into managing Kanga in 14. So we're at 6 years of us being in our office, but we're at 9 years in business.
Wow.
And then prior to that, I was just selling promotional products. So I didn't have the creative arm at that point. It was just the pins, coffee mugs, t-shirts, all that jazz.
Does it get any easier?
Honestly, it feels like it gets harder.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a problem. There's always something new to innovate. There's always something to do better than you're doing. I think what I miss is how lean it used to be, and that it used to feel simpler. But on the other hand of that, now, we have the right team and the right people doing what they need to be doing. I'm much prouder of the work we put out than I was 10 years ago. And whereas I say that it probably felt easier then, every fire feels smaller now. Like the things now that I'm like, it's no big deal. I would have lost sleep over years ago. And now I'm like, ugh. And so what I try to tell myself, and what I've kind of adopted, is if it's not going to matter in 5 years, don't worry about it for more than 5 minutes. And that's helped, because there's always something to stress about in business. Always.
And I think, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was curious. You said you started in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Were you in college?
That was the year that I finished college. Yeah.
You went fast.
I did.
What did you graduate? 08?
Yeah. Yep. So I went fast. I did my undergrad in 3.5 years.
Wow. Jesus.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Man.
I really hated it. I wanted to get in and get out.
You're taking like 20 hours a semester, right?
I did 15 or 18 the whole time. Yeah. I clipped out of some stuff and all that, but yeah.
Wow.
It was a heavy load. And then you want to talk about punishment. I did my master's while owning Kanga and the salons. I started it in the fall of 16 and finished it in December of 17.
Jesus.
So it was like 14 months or so, 15 months, something like that, while working full time. That was an awful idea.
No sleep.
I would not suggest that. I had a rule that I would never give up sleep for school. So I would always just prioritize sleep, because I mean, if I don't sleep, I'm worthless. And so,
Yeah.
but it was hard. It was really, really hard. That was when I found out that I was ADHD. So,
And I think, I don't know if you've listened to our podcast yet. So we talked about me having ADHD, but the reason why I asked you if it gets any easier is because the more we tackle, the more we bring on, for LeanFeast, and we try to take everything that we can, right? Yeah. I live by the rule that I'm not going to tell anybody no.
Yeah.
But obviously I'm not going to produce it right now.
Yeah.
But maybe later.
Yeah.
Right. But I think for us and for me and for this team that's in this office, we try to take on so much sometimes, and putting out fires, I'm just now learning that is something that is going to happen on a daily basis.
Yeah, I jokingly tell everybody that I'm a glorified bookkeeper. Like, I don't actually do hardly any creative work. I mean, very rarely am I doing any kind of design work or assisting on video shoots or directing shoots or anything like that anymore. Years ago I did. Now I'm a glorified bookkeeper, and our creatives are doing the creative work, and then I'm basically there just to solve problems or to handle once a brick wall gets thrown up, I'm there to knock it down, basically.
Are you a control freak?
I'm the opposite of a control freak. I'm very hands off. I want to find who needs to do the thing, assign it to them, and then I will flat out tell them, I am done with this unless you tell me you need help. I'm not touching it again. And so they just know.
That's kind of the person I am. I can relate to that.
That is not who the person I am.
No. It drives me nuts to have to micromanage people, because I hate being micromanaged, first of all, but it drives me nuts. So I just don't do it.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, I hate being micromanaged myself, but these guys have told me that I'm a micromanager. And I think
you're very passionate and very intense.
I am. That's 100% correct. But I think also I want things done a certain way, and until these guys are, and I think they're getting there 100%. I know Luke is. There's certain ways that I need things done, and I've been the only person to ever do them.
Yeah.
And so there was nobody else.
Yeah.
And so it's hard for me to let go of those things, but I feel like I'm getting better. I mean, you guys don't have to agree. Baker doesn't look like he agrees with me. Luke, do you?
I do.
Oh, yeah.
I really do. You are getting better.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't made decisions at the Conway store
Yeah.
in 3 months,
Yeah,
4 months.
You've let that basically go. So yeah, you are getting better.
So prior to, our manager had been with us for 5 years at the salons, just retired last week. And I realized, I was at one of our stores with the tech the other day, and he said, how often are you working in the stores? And I said, I'm not. He said, what do you mean? I'm not. I'm at my office. If I'm working a shift in the store, something is very wrong. Like, we had the flu go on a couple of years ago, and everybody got the flu the same week. And so I had to work in the stores. But it's really kind of funny, because even though you're directing everything and you're setting the tone and you're keeping a pulse on the financials and all that, like, I don't know how to do the things in the stores anymore.
Right.
We switched POS softwares last year, and I got it set up and handed it off, and we had an operations manager. So like, I'm out of that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to check somebody out in here.
Yeah.
So it's
But
funny.
then it kind of backfires on you too, and I feel like I'm in that same position. But it backfires on you sometimes, because then some of your employees that are maybe new, they're looking. I don't know if this is how you feel, or if this has happened to you, but if there's an employee that's new and you come in and you're like, I don't know how to ring somebody up.
Yeah.
You're like, you're the freaking owner.
Yeah.
How do you not know how to ring somebody up? right? I mean, does that happen?
Not really. Mostly because our team really gets what my function is, and they'd all rather me be doing what I'm doing than being in the stores.
Yeah.
So it helps. And that, I mean, they also, especially at the salons, people stay a long time. I say especially, it's the same at Kanga. I mean,
Low
we've got
turnover.
very low turnover, especially for the industry. Most salons, they turn people every 3 to 6 months. We have 4 or 5 that have been with us for at least 4 years.
Same
So
exact for us.
They just don't need me much. They don't need me to be in there checking people out because they've got it.
Yeah.
You know?
And I always joke when I go back to the San Jose store, you know, the flagship store, or even when I come into Conway, you know, I want to help the next customer that comes in, but they're like, dude, you're in my way.
Yeah.
Just you're useless behind the bar. Just go promote the business.
Yeah. And I'll do, usually if I'm going to walk in the store, I'll help customers, but I'll hand them off to someone else to check out because, I mean, the customer's more interested in interacting with me than me taking their money.
Me
like,
too.
It doesn't really matter. So you said something a second ago, and I wanted to look this book up to see if you've read it. It's called Turning the Flywheel. One of the things, and I talked about it on Black Dude, White Dude, was we started trying to be all things to all people, and it was exhausting because I had to figure out how to never say no, basically. And then what I realized is I said no to a bunch of stuff that I really didn't want to do, or things that were either not financially beneficial for us.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually haven't finished this book. A friend recommended it to me, but it's called Turning the Flywheel, a monograph to accompany good to great. And basically what it says is you've got this one thing that you're really good at. Like for you guys from the outside, I would say it would be like great, healthy, prepped meals that you can rely on, that if you just focus all of your energy on doing that incredibly well and in making it work the way that it's supposed to, making that process go smoothly, it eventually starts to do, you know, if you start a wheel rolling, what happens? Well, as it goes, it picks up speed and just goes faster and faster and faster. And it gets to a point to where you could step off and take your hands off it. It's just going to keep rolling. So that's what this book is about, which it's hard because especially for people like us that want to always make people happy and do everything, it's saying, you know what, I'm not the right person for this. So I need you to go talk to somebody else so I can stay in my flywheel.
I think that's for me, and we've talked about this on numerous occasions, but I'm always looking for the next thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think when I found LeanFeast and I found you know, the cooking portion and I found the flagship portion, I flywheeled that, right?
Yeah.
I rolled with it and we kept going and going and going until I was able to step away a year and a half ago.
Yep.
But now that we're in here and our brains are just, I mean, the 3 people that you're sitting with right now, our brains are so powerful.
Yeah.
And if you put them together, it's really, it's an amazing thing. I mean, Alex was in here, what's today, Monday? Friday. She was in here Friday. And she was just laying on the couch. She didn't feel good. She was just hanging out. She didn't want to be at home.
Yeah.
And, you know, she was texting me like, dude, thanks for letting me be a part of that.
Yeah.
You know, it's
cool.
crazy to have somebody sit in here and not say anything, not work, and just see what we do every day. Everybody thinks, oh, you just make meal prep.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Yeah.
We're trying to change
well, you guys are
the
building
whole world.
and you guys are building an empire. I mean, and doing every piece of it, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. She was just blown away. You know?
She was probably like one of the first since I've been here, because we like to talk, we like to mess around with people, right? So a lot of people come in and they're like, "You're not working. Well, you're in here. We're you know,
we're dicking off.
We're
while
dicking
you're
off
in
with
here.
you, and while you're in here." But she came in and she's sick, and she just didn't want to stay at the house. So it's like she knew coming in she was gonna be here all day.
Yeah.
So she just sat there and read a book and did some mailing some letters we had to do, and she didn't say anything. So it did get to the point. I mean, no time is like she wasn't there.
Yeah.
So she did get to see a side that a lot of people don't usually get to see.
That room right next to us, obviously we call it the war room, but it's so powerful.
Yeah.
But my point to that is that not a lot of people see that, but in my brain, as we're bringing up new things and as we're taking on new adventures, I mean, we have 7 companies other than just LeanFeast. I need to pick your brain more off the podcast, just because it's gonna be hard for me to let things go, and I really like I like talking to you, man. I just it's hard for me to let things go.
Yeah.
And I joke and say that I need to be on TLC because I need an intervention. I mean, I'm literally addicted to my job.
Yeah. The hard part for me is in letting go things that I like doing that I don't need to be doing. That's the hardest part for me. So we just hired a really fantastic office manager, and we haven't had someone in that position full time in a few years. And she has a lot of experience doing a lot of admin work that I currently do and like doing. But I know that I need to free my time up for other things. And so it's really hard for me to say, I really enjoy doing this and I could do this and it won't take me 10 minutes, but it doesn't matter if it takes me 10 minutes, it takes her 15. She still needs to be the one doing it so I can take that 10 minutes and do something that only I can do. And that's hard.
I need to be a part of that, man.
I don't. It can come from it, him. A lot of it is like, I don't want to give it up because like I don't see what I'm gonna do instead. But like with him, give him some free time. I'm sure he'll figure something out very quickly.
You're not gonna sit idle at any time.
No, but and it's crazy because I think on Friday I came in and I literally can sit at my computer and I can answer emails, phone calls, and text messages.
Yeah.
And Instagram messages and Facebook messages. That could be a full-time job for me.
Yeah.
So
I feel you.
It's trying to find a solution for all of those and get everything else that my butt needs to get done on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. So we do a staff retreat every December and we go and hide for a few days and kind of plan for the next year and then just spend some time hanging out and drinking and all that stuff. So one of the things that I told our team in December that my goal for this year was when we started talking about a project or a problem or something like that, I would throw the brakes on and say, do I need to be the one to do this? Because if someone else is capable of doing it, let's have them do it. Because we're, years into this business and things are going well, but we want some things to be different than what they are. And what those require is for me to spend time in sales or me to spend time out hanging out with people that I just don't get to do as much as I want to. And so, can Drew do this thing quickly, efficiently, well? Yes. Does he need to be the one doing it? That's the question mark this year.
Mm-hmm. But do you feel, and no disrespect to my team at all, do you feel like there are some things that you personally need to do versus,
sure,
like maybe in front of a customer, like go talk to a certain customer?
Yeah, sure. And there are. I mean, we have customers that I lead strategy for. We have customers that I am their contact and the person they're going to talk to. But we have customers that would prefer to talk to me about things that they don't need to talk to me about. And one of my biggest downfalls is if a friend asks for help with something, I'll say, yeah, I'll take care of it. I'll help you out. And I'll think like, okay, this is going to take me 2 hours. But what I'm not accounting for is all the fires that are going to happen in those 2 hours. And so
it sounds so familiar.
It takes me 2 months to get something that should have taken less than a week. And if I'd just given it to the team when it came in,
knocked it out.
Exactly. So that's my like knocking myself over the head with a baseball bat, trying to fix that mess.
Let me ask you.
It is painful. I agree.
It is. Yeah. It really is. Drew, I got a question for you.
I have an answer.
2 years ago, we made a pull-up banner.
Uh-huh.
I didn't make it.
Uh-huh.
I was completely against it.
Uh-huh.
And it's a big portrait of myself.
Uh-huh.
Everybody in the world is telling me that poster needs to be in every single LeanFeast location.
Let's do it.
As the founder. No, Drew, stop.
Drew's like, yeah.
I'm completely... So I wanted to ask...
Are you going for like a Sean T thing here?
No, see, that's the thing. Like, I wanted to ask your opinion because you're not vain. You're not... and after talking to you, knowing that your hands aren't in every little thing, right? I feel the same way, but everybody's telling me that I need to have that poster as the founder, right?
Yeah.
In every location. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
What
do you think?
I think there's a few different things that I would consider there. First of all, for these franchise locations that are opening that you're not going to be at, those people don't care about you. That doesn't really matter. Okay. So no, in that instance. However, what you do as a business is important to you because of what you did personally. Like you made this work for you. And so there's a lot of credibility in the business because of your story that leads to it. So it's the same thing that like Hillary Downey has with her business. Like she and her mom both lost a ton of weight by making smart decisions and eating well and reinvented their lifestyle. And so by that, that brand's kind of tied to her. I very much so didn't want a brand that was ever tied to me because I wanted to be able to, I very much so recognize that the bulk of the work is done by my team and not by me. And so I never wanted my name to be all over everything or my face.
And that kind of goes hand in hand with your step away mentality. Like get it started, step away, trust the people that you've hired to do the job correctly.
Yes, that's the plan.
I like that.
Yeah.
But it's catch-22 for me.
Yeah.
For one, I'm not the selfie type of guy. I'm not Baker's always got a camera in my face. Shannon's always got a camera in my face. But I don't want that spotlight. Like yes, this company did fall because of my personal choices.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want that heat.
Yeah.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. There's some of it that's necessary, but I think that's also advantage of being the boss is you get to pick and be like, no, we ain't putting a poster man in all the stores. You know,
I think it needs to be more like a shrine with incense
You need to
around
shut
it,
your mouth.
there you
and
go.
like a little Buddha that they can rub,
Can come make an offering to Eric.
Yeah.
We'll go into the store. and
like
get
an
money else.
ofrenda.
Oh, what?
An ofrenda.
What is that?
You haven't seen Coco?
Coco.
I mean,
Oh, Coco is so good.
I've seen it. I think I own it
That's
actually.
a good movie.
Ah, it's
But what's
beautiful.
a ofrenda?
Ofrenda.
An
It's
ofrenda.
an
It's like
offering
a-
that you
it's-
leave for.
It's
your
a shrine,
assistants.
shrine to the dead.
Like
Yeah.
a candle with my face on it?
Yeah, like the Virgin Mary candles around your picture, and
No.
like I
also-
said, incense and all the whole thing.
I'm speaking from a place of not being educated here, but a lot of times if you go into like Thai restaurants, they'll
Mhm.
have like a little dessert or something set out with a candle in front of it that's like an offering.
yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
With like a Buddha?
I assume.
You know, I was looking at something on the interwebs.
Mm-hmm.
You can rent a ginormous mansion for like $50 a night in Thailand, and
Oh, let's
it's
go.
like 15,000 square feet.
Yeah, the flight is just getting there. But man, I'm telling you, I could eat Thai food 3 meals a day
Oh,
every
me
day.
too.
Oh,
And
yeah, me
I'm all about it. And we used to have a really good Thai restaurant in Conway, and they moved to Little Rock, so they're not here anymore.
There's a place in my hometown called Krung Thai.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, me and Luke used to eat there all the time.
Angel wings and
love
hot
Thai.
pot.
Angel wings and hot pot, 100%.
And when we travel, I will eat Thai almost at least once a day. So like I was in Houston for a week with a friend not too long ago, and we ate Thai food every single day, every day. I love it.
Thai food. You like spicy?
Oh yeah,
I mean, I know Thai food's
yeah.
majority of it.
Oh,
is
we
spicy.
if he likes spicy, he needs one of the first productions of the
Turbo.
Turbo.
I've had the turbo.
Not
think-
the new one.
Oh, is there a new turbo?
Have you seen our final production?
Would we call it Turbo 2.0?
This is Turbo 3.0,
Okay.
but this is the final product. It's actually sitting right there. Go
Yeah.
grab that.
Yep, sitting right there.
It's actually this is the final produced product out of our co-packer out up in upstate New York.
Yeah.
It'll actually be here today or tomorrow for consumed from clientele consumer purchase.
Well, this looks awesome.
It's being mass produced out of New York.
I'm
That's
pretty
actually
sure-
the first production batch.
That's the
right
first
there.
bottle that came
That's
off the
batch
batch.
0001.
Mhm.
This is
Yeah,
also.
you can
This
have
is,
it.
I'm not going to take your bottle if it's your only
No,
bottle.
we have 12 more.
Great. Then I will take it. It's also Whole 30, so I can use this right now,
100%. Yep.
which is beautiful.
Yep. Whole 30.
Because sauce is hard to
Super
find.
high in omega 6 and 9s. So we use algae oil in it.
Yeah, Omega Chain. Love it. Good for your
Mhm.
heart and your head.
That's it. Hey, I have a question for you.
Answer.
What are your goals?
Ooh, in life, this year,
I
in general?
need a 2020 goal. I'm not talking about a resolution.
Yeah.
But what's your 2020 goal? Personally or entrepreneurship or
Yeah,
business?
you pick one.
Biggest to you.
What's your biggest goal?
I'm gonna politician this and answer your question with a question, or pivot it, or
Dang it.
politician or pageant girl it, whichever way you pick. No, I think this will answer what you want. The biggest thing that Kevin and I are chasing right now is freedom.
Who's Kevin?
My husband. He's a rock star. He's a therapist. He's the best human I know. I don't have enough good words to say. He's just a rock star.
Wow, I don't
So-
have enough good words to say.
No,
I
he's
like that.
Yeah, we've been together for 6 years, and I still pinch myself every day when I wake
I
up.
still haven't met Kevin.
Yeah, you're missing
I hope
out.
Kevin listens to this.
He's by far the
needs to
better.
know.
He will not listen to this unless I ask him to.
Is he not a podcast guy?
His involvement in Kanga is only what I ask him to do. So, but he is not on social media, so he won't see it.
I envy him, man.
Yeah.
What
he's
does he
smart.
do?
For a living with his
Yeah,
time?
yeah.
He's a mental health therapist.
Really?
Yeah.
My dog is barking.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, so he's a therapist. So one of the things that we are chasing, the biggest thing that we are chasing is freedom. We just want to not be tied down at any point. We want to be able to pick up and go whenever we want. We want to be unencumbered with things, so no debt, all that jazz. And so everything that we're doing this year is about what does it take for us to have complete freedom? What does it take to make sure that there's no debt in any of these companies, so that if the economy tanks, we're not freaking out trying to figure out how we're going to pay people or anything like that. So we have tiny little goals along the way this year, but the biggest goal I would say with Kanga is for me to give up the things that I can and focus on the things that I need to. But all of that is in chasing that value of freedom that we're really
I
running
really,
towards.
really like that.
So you say freedom, but what is the biggest obstacle that's keeping you from that? Is it having the right people in place? Is it having enough money? What is going to be there's always an obstacle.
Yeah, money's a piece of it. It's not the biggest piece of it. Like, so when we go to California in March, I'm going to be out of the office for 2
Yeah,
weeks.
like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
almost.
which is the first time since I've been in business that's happened. Now we are, but one of my friends that is traveling with us is like me and cannot step away from work for that long. So we'll do the Napa weekend, and then before we get in the RV, we are working for a day in San Francisco. So we'll do that, and then we'll probably stop somewhere between Sacramento and and work for a day just to keep up. But yeah, I mean that's what we're really trying to do, is figure out how to just be able to do whatever we want when we want. And I know, like, when we have kids, I don't want to work the hours that I'm working right now forever. I want to be able to just, and Bacon and I were just talking about, like, I want to go home at 5.
Yeah.
And that happens sometimes, but not all the time. And,
Does he work long hours too?
not so. He just started his practice last year in the fall, which is actually also right next to my office, which is great because we're all in the same spot. So he has late sessions some right now, so he'll see people as late as like 6 o'clock or something like that. But he's not bad about working long hours. He's real good about keeping margin and balance.
Do you guys find that you have, and I'm going to take a play off of Soul Seeker podcast, but do you feel like you have a soul life balance right now?
That's a good question. I feel like we're closer than we've ever been before, but not where we want to be. Does that answer your question? Yeah. So we're moving in the right direction, but not at the final destination yet.
Luke, do you think you have a good soul life balance, or soul work life balance?
If I'm being honest, no. I think that's obviously all of our goals. I think it's important to have work-life balance, and it's something that right now we're growing a company. You can't. It's near impossible to have work-life balance just yet. Yeah. But I see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's my goal, is to have that, and I know what I need to do to get to that point.
But do you feel like you had work-life balance with your previous job?
Well, it was a lot more life balance than work. I had a pretty incredible job for 12 years where I got to make my own schedule, and I didn't have to report to an office. And as long as I was bringing in money and closing deals, they didn't really care what I did.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been used to for the past, 15 plus years. I've always kind of had jobs like this. So this was a bit of a culture shock for me, and for my family, but they understand. Yeah. They know what we're working towards.
And we know we're putting in the hard work now to set up the life that we want later. So, Kevin and I are still young, and we realize that. And so we can still put in what we need to now to not have to work these hours, this pace, to not have to go to a salon on a Sunday, to have a booth repaired or things like that, years from now. I also have a theory that work-life balance isn't really a thing anymore. I think it was, but I think with how connected we are now, it's impossible to escape it. And so I think the secret isn't just figuring out
simply because you can't disconnect.
You cannot disconnect.
Right.
Yeah. We used to cruise a lot just for the reason of you're disconnected and you sorry, I'm in the middle of the ocean. I don't have cell service. I can't help you. And so that was why we did that, because it was like the forced disconnect. But even if I, put an out of office on my email and say, or a, footer on my signature and say, hey, I'm going to be out of the office for 2 weeks in March, get everything done you need to beforehand. And I send an email to my clients a month before I leave and say, hey, I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. Let me know what you need so we can take care before I leave. I will have people email me when we leave. They'll get the out of office and they'll text me and say, hey, I know you're out of the office, but, and then tell me what they need. And it's like, we have to have regard for each other's times. And so I sent a friend a message yesterday who I've worked with for years, and I needed him to look at something for me. And I started the message with, do not respond until Monday. And said, I know this is Sunday. It's on my mind right now. I don't want you to touch it until tomorrow morning. Here's what I need. So just to, try to say, not everything is a fire. Some fires can burn for overnight and be there in the morning. Some can't, I think
I've started to learn that a little bit.
Yeah. You'll drive yourself crazy otherwise.
No more. Nothing needs to be said about me going crazy. I'm already there. Baker, do you feel like you have a good work-life balance?
That's a tough question. I don't know. Sort of not. We work a lot. But
and you're still in school as well, aren't you?
No, I'm done with school.
Okay.
My wife, she's still in school.
Okay. DPT?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We travel a lot. We work a lot. I'm kind of the same with Luke. We see it, and she gets it too. So I think that helps a lot. I think it'd be even harder if you're a significant other or whoever's at home didn't get it. Where we're at, that would make it very, very difficult.
Yeah.
But she gets it. She gets what's going on. What we're trying to do, and she gets that. She's like, "Why do you work so late?" And I was like, "Well, some days, it's like a lot of our clientele's in California. You know, that's
Yep.
2 hours before here. You know, so it's like she gets it, but I mean,
I definitely think we're in the process of
Correct.
balancing
I'm-
compared to where we were 6, 8, 10 months ago when we were trying to get Conway off the ground,
Yeah.
and we were doing a lot of the work ourselves.
Yeah, you guys were in the store all the time.
Yeah, it was at least 7 to 7 every day,
Yeah.
Mhm.
at
And
least.
I think a lot of people that say they don't even if you gave them the time, don't really try to make it a point, you know. And me and Alex are very disciplined people, and it's like we try to make it a point. Like every Sunday we cook, you know, we cook dinner, we pick something new, we look up the ingredients, we go buy, we cook a dinner, hang out with you, we talk.
Yeah.
We try to like
We protect our
make
Sundays.
the time,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah. So
I want to be like you three because I don't feel like I don't have a life, right? And that's something that I chose for myself. You know, there's a couple days out of the week where I look at Baker and Luke at like 6 o'clock and I'm like, take off, and then I'm here till
like
9
8,
o'clock,
9, 10 o'clock.
yeah, you know, and my wife understands, but
Yeah.
as much as I believe that she understands,
There's still some guilt there.
dude, 100% guilt.
Yeah, and y'all have kids, and that makes it harder too.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have that. We have dogs, you know, and so, you know, the good news is now that we are 100% self-employed, Kev understands what I'm doing and what's necessary. When he and I started dating, I worked so much more. I mean, I would do 70, 80 hours a week in the office.
Yeah.
And it is rare that I spend more than 50 hours a week in the office now. Very rare. Some weeks I probably don't even do 40 in the office. We have a freeform Friday where we actually let people work from wherever they want to on Friday. So that might mean that I'm at the house, or if we're traveling, that I'm working from wherever we're traveling, or things like that. But
That's cool.
I've also learned some of those ways to, like, I know that the priority time for Kevin is going to be once we get home from work and we've done whatever we need to do, like get the house settled, he's going to want to have dinner and then hang out for a little bit. And then probably come 8, 9, 10 o'clock or so, either he's going to be ready to play a video game or to do something on his own. And that's really good work time for me because my clients aren't still working, or they're not responding to emails at least. And there's no distractions. So I can sit down and bang out. And those first 2 hours in the morning before people get to my office, and those last 2 hours in the evening, I can do 3 days worth of work.
Yeah, because working that late at night kind of allows you to get the balls out of your court.
Yeah.
They're in somebody else's.
Yeah.
And you feel a sense of accomplishment that
Yeah.
at least you didn't ignore
Yeah.
their email for the day.
I wanted to say also too, kind of just going back a little bit to my wife and the work-life balance thing real quick. She also understands, and maybe you guys can agree with this, or I mean, even maybe disagree, but she also understands that we wouldn't have what we have if I don't do what I do. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we wouldn't have our own house that we're not renting.
Yeah.
You know, we wouldn't have the things that we have. So, you know, it's just, I'm addicted to work right now,
Yeah.
you know, and I need to find that
balance.
you
Yeah.
know?
I think one of the things that we're looking at really intentionally with our close friends and our leaders on the companies this year is what is your driving value? What is most important to you in life? And whether you realize it or not, we filter almost all of our decisions through our values. And when you start making decisions outside of that is when you start to feel that tension and that pull and that stress of, man, something's not right. I don't like what I'm doing. I'm exhausted. As long as you're chasing those values, you can have that superhuman energy for so much longer and keep going and doing whatever needs to be done. And
I just read something. I don't remember where I read it, or maybe I watched it. Somebody was saying that as much effort as you put into your work life, you need to put into your home life. And that really hit home with me because 100% honesty.
Well, there's no way.
I bust my ass here, and I give my employees, I give my franchisees, I give my customers the entire world. I give them 110% of me. But when I get home, I don't want to be bothered.
yeah.
You know, my son wants to tell me about Fortnite and his day and the dogs, and I'm just like, okay, you know.
Yeah.
I'm 100% guilty of that.
Yeah. You can't pour from an empty cup.
I cannot. So I'm really trying. That is one of my main goals this year is as much as I'm going to put in at work, I need to put in at home. But there's a catch to that too, because me and Baker and Luke have talked about it all the time. I'll get home and my wife will be, so how was your day? What'd you guys do today?
And you got to dive right back into it.
Yeah, but I don't have the energy to tell you exactly. She's been in here, right? So she knows what the hell goes on. But I just don't have the energy to explain it to you. I don't know how to convey it in a way that it makes sense to you, for one.
Yeah.
But two, I don't have the energy to tell you.
Yeah.
or organize it. It would just be like random things.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
And then
what we did all
then
day.
she would look at me like, "What the hell are you even talking about?" I was
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I don't know.
Well,
And
part of
then I
that,
get frustrated.
part of that's just communication and figuring out like, what does she want to know? Does she want to know everything that happened today at work, or does she want to know that it was a good day? We had a problem, we fixed it.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
that is a good way to
The
look
Cliff
at
Notes.
I didn't even think
it. Yeah.
about that.
Let's
Thank
spark
you,
note it
Drew.
real quick.
I should just ask her if she asks me how was your day. Okay, well, what do you want to know?
Yeah.
And then I'll tell you. Did
Some-
you sign anybody today? Did you fight with anybody today? Or,
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
Something else that Kevin and I do that is really, I realized that, like if I get home before him, like if he has like a 6 o'clock session and I've gotten home and made dinner and all that, I've had time to decompress and I'm calm. And when he walks in the door, he might have literally 7 minutes ago walked out of a session where somebody told him that they are considering killing themselves. Like that could have been the last, and he could be thinking about that right then.
Right.
And that might mean that he's not ready to talk about, vacation or anything like that. And so we have this understanding that we might walk in and say, "Hey, I need a few minutes." And for me, it is like 10 minutes. Like it doesn't take long, but like
Yeah.
I need to walk in the house,
Put my stuff down.
have no one ask me questions,
Yeah.
not answer any emails, and just exist for 10 minutes. And then it's like, okay, I'm ready to
Whatever.
be home now. Yeah.
Yeah.
We bought a hot tub a few years ago and we spent a lot of time sitting out in the hot tub, just chilling, doing nothing.
It sounded like a fart, but it was my dog.
Is that Ozzy? I was looking
Yeah.
at you like,
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Lord. Yeah. No. So we spend a lot of time out there instead of sitting in front of the TV, just like mindlessly vegging. We'll actually sit up there. We don't have a TV out there. We have an Echo so we can play music if we want to, but we just sit and talk and chill and enjoy life.
Drew, I love you, man.
One of the cool things that my family does, because we've got like a whole mess of people around the table every night for dinner. But
How many of you guys are there?
well, I've got 3 kids myself,
Uh-huh.
my wife and I, and then my mother-in-law lives with us
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
I always tell people she's by far the best roommate I've ever had.
Yeah.
So
It's because she washes your underwear, dude.
that's true.
It's very kind of her.
That's true. Yes, but we do like the little high-low activity.
Love that.
What's
Rather than try to tell everybody about your entire day, you tell them about your the high of your day. Like today, we opened a new location.
Yep.
And my low was, well, we had to deal with a disgruntled landlord.
Yep.
And then you move on to the next person rather than tell them about your whole day.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
my kids
I like
really
that.
enjoy that too.
I'm gonna start doing that.
Yeah. A lot of therapists with specifically with marriage talk about a reunion ritual where like when you come back together, whether it's been traveling, whether it's just your day at work, that you have like the same thing that you do every day. And a high low, I'm clicking my cord here. The high low is a really good example of that. Of like we have the same thing that we do every day, and it's part of what like sets the tone for work day over, home time
Family
now.
time, yeah.
Here's where this starts. Yeah.
So given Kevin's profession, do you as a therapist, right? Therapist?
Yep.
Yeah.
Every time you say that, I think
The rapist? With Sean
I
Connery?
think the Comedy Central skit with Sean Connery at
Yep.
the Jeopardy.
Sean Connery.
I'll take the rapist for 400, please, Alex.
Therapist.
That's therapist.
Yeah. Did you hear this week is his last week?
Alex Trebek?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
so sad. Stage
man.
4
Cancer,
pancreatic
huh?
cancer.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Oh, so what I was saying is, but do you ever find that, given his profession, that he's analyzing you?
Yeah, people ask us that question all the time. Here's what's funny about
He
that.
walks in the door and you're like, "Don't judge me, not
So,
today."
Not only did I marry a therapist, but a large portion of our closest friends are therapists. And so, like for example,
Oh,
when
Lord.
we go to Napa, there are 11 people on the trip.
They're all judging and
4 or 5 of them are therapists.
Oh,
So like half
man.
the group.
I don't want to go on that trip.
However, out of that group, Kevin is the only practicing therapist. The one's a clinical director, so he manages other therapists. One is a psychologist who never got licensed because he decided he didn't want to do that, and so he teaches instead. And one is a social worker who works on the insurance side of things. And so, like, I'm surrounded by other people that know this, but to answer your question, Kevin has never done that to me. And if I
Really?
look at other therapist friends, I see them do it to people, but Kevin just doesn't. I think it's what makes him good at what he does is he has this supernatural ability that it's like when he walks out of the office, he flips a light switch.
Done.
And he doesn't, and like, we might, if he was here, we might sit here and talk and I might think, Lord, Eric's a workaholic. We got to talk about that. And we'd leave and I'd be like, what do you think his issue is? And he'd be like, what? Like, what do you think his problem is? And he'd be like, I don't know. He's not my client. I wasn't looking at him like that. And so he said that one, he doesn't like to use those tools on people without their permission because that should be a consensual relationship. And then also he's like, I don't want to stress about it all the time. I don't want to think about what personality disorder he may have or anything like that. And so, and even if I ask him for help, I'll be like, listen, like I'm stuck on this and I'm frustrated and I feel like there's something I'm looking at wrong. Will you like, and he'll be like, I'm not your therapist. Go talk to Becky.
I'm off the clock.
Yeah,
You're not paying me.
He won't even, and, I mean, he's explained before, he'd be like, I know that you would like for me to look at you through that lens, but I can't. He's like, there's no impartiality here.
You probably would not like him to look at you through that lens.
I don't know. The thing is, like, I'm a crier in general, so like whatever, take this as for what it is. But in the time that we've been together, I've seen him do it 3 or 4 times with friends where like we'll be sitting around the kitchen table and they'll be struggling and talking about something, and he has therapist voice, and I'll hear it change, and then I'll be like, oh shit, I'm getting to watch him do this, and then I'll get teary because I'm like, he's just so good at this. So,
wait, what's therapist voice? Can you mimic that for us?
I cannot.
You do it. You have a perfect therapist voice. You do it every single day, all day long. You talk different to me than you do to your wife.
Yeah.
And your kids.
Yeah.
I know what I mean, that's like you talk to a dog and you talk to your wife or your kids. Yeah,
It's
you're
the
going to
same
change
thing.
your voice, but like I don't know what a therapist voice is.
I have preachy voice on accident, and especially like if we're disagreeing on something and we're talking about it, I feel the need to educate you, and it's not that like it's not from a place of superiority, but it's like, no, this is what I feel and here's why. And Kevin's like, yes, but it sounds like you're lecturing me and you need to stop. Yes, sir.
I like that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Drew, I've learned so much about you, man.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you being here. We're going to wrap this up. Anytime you want to stop by and be on the podcast, I know we've had some interruptions, but
This has been a blast.
You're an absolute pleasure to have around. We're now friends.
We have been friends,
Yeah.
but we're more officially friends
Yeah,
now.
dude, I love you, man. And I really appreciate you being here. And
Love you guys. Happy to be
it
here.
it was pretty awesome.
It was cool.
Luke, do you have
Enjoyed
anything else?
No, I'm good.
Baker?
I'm out.
Drew, do you have anything?
What's our summary? Don't use therapist voice.
Don't use therapist
No
voice.
preachy
Don't
voice.
be a micromanager.
Yeah.
And,
we didn't talk about Whole30. Are we supposed to talk about that?
Balance work and life.
We could talk about that offline.
Great. Deal.
If that's okay with
We're
you.
going to talk about that offline. I feel
right.
good about it.
I appreciate you, man.
All right. Thank you
Thanks
guys.
for being on.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Feast Fighter podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at LeanFeast, Instagram at Lean_Feast, Facebook and Twitter at The LeanFeast. Find more voices of LeanFeast on iOS, Google Play, iTunes, and Spotify.